Sports lovers, welcome back to another episode of Global Sports Caribbean Perspective. This is your boy Shaba, and I have Dappy here with me, and we're gonna be speaking on some cricket action as well as some NBA action, which has recently tipped off. So we're gonna begin with disappointing West Indies, who recently concluded a series against Bangladesh, where they lost 2-1. They played the final game today and were bowled out for 117 runs in 30 overs. Dappy, tell me something that I don't know about the West Indies.
Right? It's really hard to do that. I'm sure you might know everything I'm about to say. But even before the Bangladesh tour, I think West Indian fans came off the Indian tour with a bit of a high, seeing that West Indies scored 390 runs in the second innings of the second test. And we had two centurions, Hope and Campbell. So that was a moral victory, even though we lost the test, and we would have hoped that that kind of application would run over into the one-day series against Bangladesh. Bangladesh saying that the run rates for the first two one days, I didn't see the one today, but the first two one days were of a test match speed. So it was something, there were games that the batters should have assessed and applied themselves, just like how the last set of batters did in the test series. I think that should have ran over into this series. It was really disappointing. Yeah, Sharp is just West Indies being West Indies, honestly speaking. I mean, we are the bottom of the bottom. I remember the days that we would be with Bangladesh and Zimbabwe. Those would be easy victories. With all respect being due to Bangladesh and Zimbabwe, but right now it's really hard to say. It's West Indies are always out of form. They never look dominant, and even when they win games, it's a bit of a struggle. It's like we have to struggle to win, that kind of way. So yeah, it's just West Indies being West Indies, really and truly.
So nothing that I don't already know then. Nothing that I don't already know. It's sad to see what they've become, especially considering where they were once and not too long ago recently as well. Bangladesh, as you said, would have been whipping boys for us not even 10 years ago. And look at them now, they're literally our peers and above us.
Yeah, it just goes to show the level of development or just investment the different countries outside of the West Indies have been making. You could see Bangladesh has, new emerging player with high potential coming through, whether it be a bowler or batsman. You see it for Sri Lanka, you see it for all the other countries. But for us, it's really far and in between. So we have Jaden Seals now, and then we have the Joel and Jules that they say has that potential, but how do these guys move on to the next level? What are we giving them, to facilitate growth? And that is a question that we have to ask the leaders and people in charge of West Indies cricket. How are we helping the youth to become professionals?
Yeah, because if you look at the current atmosphere, let's say, of ODI cricket, and there's a World Cup coming up soon, we're far behind. We're far behind. There are other series taking place as well at the moment, including one in Australia where India are facing Australia. They're currently down 2-0 in the series, India. But the point I'm making is the level of competition that's being played between the likes of those teams, even the likes of Pakistan and South Africa, we're nowhere near that level, right? And despite the likes of India might be looking not the best currently against Australia, like I said, they're currently down 2-0. They haven't necessarily put up a fight so far, but Australia is a very strong team. So despite how weak they might look against Australia, they're still strong. India, I'm speaking about. So that just goes to show the golfing class and talent that West Indies are facing at the moment. Don't you agree?
Fully agree.
Right.
100%.
So I want to just move over quickly to the NBA segment and we want to get into things quickly here as the season started just 2 nights ago, where the Oklahoma City defeated the Houston Rockets at home, the defending champs, looking like their usual self, even without Jalen Williams. Gives us Alexander with another 30-point game. Chet Holmgren with a double-double, looking to kick on from his championship season last year. What do you think of OKC's chances this year of doing a repeat?
They do look good, especially playing against the Houston Rockets, who are one could say star-studded with the likes of Şengün and Kevin Durant, Amen Thompson, and Steven Adams. That's my boy. But I think they said it was one of the tallest starting 11s, starting fives, and on our opening night. And Houston are tipped to be one of the teams there at the end in the NBA Finals. So it was a really, really close game, seeing that it went to double overtime. It wasn't an easy game for OKC. And I just want to highlight, because a lot of people don't draw the attention to SGA's defensive game, the things that the turnovers he forced or the stops that he helps to make. It's worth mentioning, and I think that would be a big boost and a big help to them if they want to go back there and win the title again, but it would be hard. Not it hasn't been done since Golden State. So yeah, it would be a tough ask of OKC to do it again, but yeah, they have all the tools to.
They definitely have all the tools, especially defensively. They work hard for each other. You see the likes of Isaiah Hartenstein, Lou Dort, and the other Jalen Williams. They have great defensive players who work their tails off. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, seeing that they're the champion. But just as you stated, no team has repeated since those Golden State Warriors back in the Kevin Durant and Steph Curry era. And I don't think, as good as this Oklahoma City team is, that they're on that level or that much better than the chasing pack in the NBA. And while we're on the chasing pack, on opening night as well, the Golden State Warriors, same Warriors, defeated the LeBron-less Los Angeles Lakers in LA. Luka Doncic putting up a 40-point, 10 rebound game and dominating in the stat sheet. However, the Lakers lost. What do we think of their chances, firstly? Despite them losing, we want to hear about your thoughts on their chances, and then we'll speak about what we think about Steph's teams after. What do you think?
When they made the trade for local last year or early this year, I actually thought that they lost the trade because they were giving away a key piece in Anthony Davis and basically bringing in something that they have already in like the same profile and play style as LeBron James.
Very much
right?
so.
So I think that they need a little bit more. I don't think you can compare DeAndre Ayton to an Anthony Davis, even though they are both soft. I don't think DeAndre Ayton is on Anthony Davis's level. And yeah, ultimately I feel that they would fall short.
I definitely agree. I mean, we have to give the Lakers some airtime considering that LeBron and Luka Doncic literally plays for them. But I also agree that they're not necessarily a championship contender necessarily because of their deficiencies. They lack a lot on the boards, number one, because as you stated, DeAndre Ayton is not a board beast. He's not going to go and grab you 50 rebounds like Anthony Davis will have. So while Luka has his strengths offensively, he's also a target defensively. Teams would run him through the pick and roll often and isolate him and take him to the hoop or hit him with a step back. So despite their talents between both of them, even when LeBron is fully fit, I don't see them being a championship contender. The Warriors, on the other hand, might be their last real run at a championship. Curry isn't getting any older. However, he still seems to be in fine fettle, right? And he has help with him in Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, another year wiser under the tutelage of Steve Kerr and the like. So I think that they could be a challenger in the West, more so than the Lakers. What say you?
Yeah, I believe so. Steph Curry on your team, I mean, you could go anywhere really and truly. But they also need those supporting pieces. I'm not too sure if they have that in an Al Horford. Credit to him over the years, he has been around. He has shown us that he's defeating father time per se in terms of just sticking around, doing things at an elite level, shooting from three, spacing the floor, and defending as well. I'm not sure if he would have that same level of intensity, that same energy, and that just the same physical capabilities. Being this is another year, I'm not too sure. He's probably almost 40, if not 40. But yeah, they have pieces in Kuminga. He was really outstanding in the game last night with some daggers from three. So whatever they had going on with Kuminga and the front office and Steve called last year, I hope that is under the rug and everything is kumbaya and everybody is cozy because yeah, everybody on board for the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry shooting from three, and they would be good.
Keeping the theme of the Western Conference, which is stacked this season, we're going to move on to another marquee matchup that took place between the San Antonio Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks. We saw an impressive and out of this world performance from Victor Wembanyama, who put up 40 points and 15 rebounds, 2 blocks. Right? This guy is an alien. The league is in trouble. I'm not saying that the Spurs are going to win the title this season or even next season, right? But the trajectory that Wemby is taking and is the level that he is approaching, keep in mind this is just his third season in the league. So he only has better to get. The league, I tell you, is in trouble. When LeBron eventually retires and Curry eventually is out of the league and Durant is also eventually out of the league, this is the face of the NBA. This is a generational player by definition and by proof of what you're seeing. This is a 7'5" monster who's able to put the ball between his legs like Kyrie Irving, dunk on you like Shaquille O'Neal, step back, shoot the three, handle, pass. He can do everything, and he's the best defender in the league as well. I might be a bit premature with that, not giving the likes of Giannis and them the credit they deserve. But I would want to believe that Wemby is already the best defensive player in the NBA, and he was on track to win Defensive Player of the season last season before he got his injury. And I know that award is his this season. So just want to shout out the Spurs who have been in the trenches for some time after the dynastic era in the past with Duncan and Ginobili and Parker. They're back on the big stage. They're relevant again, and it's all because of one player, and that's Victor Wembanyama. Not just to single out Wemby, he has a special supporting cast as well, the likes of Jeremy Sohan, Stefan Castle, De'Aaron Fox, who did not even play.
Vassell.
Right? Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, there's a squad and there is room for improvement. Spurs have cap space and they're able to make a big trade during the season. So look out. But that's enough for me and my Spurs rant. I want to hear Dappy's opinion on what he saw.
I only watched the highlights, but it was absolutely incredible to say the least. I couldn't believe my eyes, bro. Like there's no way there's no way that a 7-footer could be doing the things that I saw him doing in the game last night against Dallas and Cooper Flag. And Anthony Davis looked like a little boy to this guy. Anthony Davis had 4 fouls in the second quarter.
This is a top 75 all-time player, Anthony Davis, we're talking about. This is not a scrub.
Yeah, it was incredible to see. Uh, I feel we can go a little step forward and say that he has his hat in the ring with that performance alone last night for MVP shouts already. Giannis is there as well, you know, the usual suspects, but it's really cool to see that he's in his 30 already, and I have no doubt in my mind he's gonna be linked to the MVP talks already.
Okay, but the Spurs overall, what do you think of their chances this season? And keep in mind as well, I want to hear your thoughts on Dallas's chances, considering the fact that Kyrie is still out and will be back later this season. So there will be a point where Kyrie will be playing with Clay, AD, Derek Lively, and the likes. So what do you think of the Spurs chances this season for us for the championship, as well as Dallas?
Well, first, we would need Wemby to stay healthy throughout the entire season. Uh, your season goes as far as Wemby goes. So
For sure.
once Wemby is fit, healthy, and playing basketball the way he's playing, I could see you guys making it at least to the second round of the playoffs.
And that would be a great achievement. That would be a great achievement.
I don't see you guys in the play at all. I think I could see you guys at least in the top 6 spots of the Western Conference with Wemby. And yeah, this is a good time to be a Spurs fan. However, in Dallas, with Kyrie missing, Cooper Flag played his debut match last night at point guard, and there was high praise for him before that first game where he kind of struggled a little. And of course, it's his first game. When we did struggle to win his first game, I think he waited. It not until like the fourth quarter when he started to pile on points in his first game. So, you know, it would all come in time for Cooper Flag. He looks like an exciting prospect. So yeah, hopefully it all lines up and gels with Nico Harrison foresaw it.
When you traded Luka.
Yeah, when he traded Luka. So yeah.
Okay. I don't think Dallas would necessarily be a title contender either. However, like I said, the West is stacked and they would be a major player as well. Another major player who went to the Western Conference Finals last season, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they got their season underway as well by beating the Portland Trailblazers 118 to 114. Anthony Edwards with a 41 point special. Any more needs to be said?
My boy said he was watching Kobe and MJ post up highlights. And then I think that was what he was working on in the off season. So last year they said he was working on his trees, and he came and made the most trees in the NBA season last year. So this season people gotta be worried. Anthony Edwards is a scary fellow. He just needs the entire team to come along with him, because you know what you're gonna get with Anthony Edwards. Yeah, so
Watch out.
watch out, yeah. They still have Julius Randle as well, and Rudy Gobert.
Stifle Tower.
So you know they have a nice core with Jalen McDaniels, and there's this other dude who's very good on the defense as well. So yeah, they do have a nice little core, but the supporting cast really have to pull their weight in order for Timberwolves to, you know, get to where they want to get, because they have been to the conference finals in the last 2 years.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Two of the 3 seasons.
Yeah, so yeah, the supporting cast really got to pull their weight, because you know what you're gonna get from Anthony Edwards.
Okay, I want to mention 2 more teams in the West before we move over to the East, and then we'll get some quick predictions for the rest of the NBA season from myself and Dappy. So the first team I want to mention who didn't play as yet are the Denver Nuggets. They will be playing their first game tonight against the Warriors. They have who I think is the best player in the league still, Nikola Jokic, triple-double machine, unstoppable force, still with Jamal Murray, Mr. Clutch. Michael Porter Jr. has left, but Aaron Gordon is still there. I think that until we see them play, we can't give much opinion on them, right? But the last team I want to mention in the West is your team, the Memphis Grizzlies, and I want to hear what you think.
Call 12. Call 12. Bro, I watched that game last night, and of course we have been playing with similar issues from last season. We struggle to score the ball, but whenever Ja is in the game and he's feeling on it, he injects pace, and everyone comes along for the ride. Wells comes along. Jaron Jackson Jr. had a really really good third quarter. He changed his number from 12 to 8. I don't know if you know that. But the problems of him still falling out there still because we ended the game without a center with him and Jock Landale hitting 6 fouls each. But yeah, those are things that we need to polish up. But yeah, Jamarant, a healthy Jamarant is a dangerous Jamarant, and
That that is true.
the league is in store for so many highlights this year. So
That is so true. At the same time, I want to give some sober analysis. But I think you would be aware of this as well. I don't think you would necessarily expect Memphis to be, a playoff, threat necessarily. If you make the play-in and cause some sort of upset, that would be the ceiling for the Grizzlies this season. And that would be okay. That would be okay.
yes, because we lost my boy Desmond Bain, so his role has now been taken over by the Jalen Wells human who's a three and
G&D.
kind of guy. Yes.
Right. So we'll move over to the Eastern Conference, which isn't as deep as the West, obviously. And we'll speak about the team that went to the NBA Finals last season, the Indiana Pacers. Now, Tyrese Halliburton is out for the season. We didn't necessarily expect them to get to the finals anyway. So coming into the season, I would say the pressure is off of them completely. What they did last season by overachieving is more than enough for them, I would say, and their fans, despite them losing in the finals. Um, I won't think their expectations, like I said, I won't think their expectations would be high. So I'm not gonna put overly any pressure on them to say that they necessarily have to reach far in the Eastern Conference playoffs. But I would say though, with Tatum being injured for the season, Boston is not as strong. And we know the East generally isn't the strongest of conferences aside from Milwaukee, Boston, and Philly every year. So if they can pick up a form again and get some chemistry going, even without Halliburton, they could make some noise in the playoffs. But not necessarily to challenge for the title. I'm sure you will.
Yeah, maybe when Halliburton is out, I think it's Nesmith who takes over as point guard, and he did really well in the final few games when he had to take up that role. But I'm not too sure if it's enough or it's the same caliber in terms of distribution and IQ. I think we'll have to see a few more games before I really believe like Tyrese Halliburton was the energy and the aura and the vibe that really got them going. They still have Pascal Siakam, who's a big player for them, but I still really feel that they really need that playmaker and that distributor in order to take them to the next level.
Andrew Nemhart is another good player they have as well, and Benedict Mathurin, who's a bucket. But like you said, I don't think they'd have the talent. Well, like I said, I don't think they'd have the talent sans Halliburton. Although Rick Carlisle is a great coach, wouldn't be able to overcome the likes of who I'm about to mention. The New York Knicks, who defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 119 to 111 at home. Mind you, the Cavaliers are without Darius Garland, who's their starting point guard, so they were at a big disadvantage. But Donovan Mitchell scored 31 as he usually does. But Jalen Brunson and Carl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby put up over 20 points each and guided the Knicks to victory. Now, I think that the coaching change for the Knicks would do them well, moving on from Thibodeau, because he used to basically kill the players.
Yeah, 5-man.
5-man rotation. And when it comes to the playoffs, the players will get exhausted and burnt out. So I think the change to Mike Brown would do them well. I'm not necessarily certain that they are the favorites to get to the NBA Finals just because Pacers got weaker with Halliburton getting injured and Tatum being out for Boston. That might put them up there, but for me, my favorite to come out of the East this season would be the Milwaukee Bucks. What say you about the Knicks before we speak about the Bucks?
The Knicks look good. Funny enough, when we talk about Thibodeau and how we used to kill the players. When I watched the match last night, I think by the time the second quarter was around 11 players had already touched the court for the Knicks. So he already showed that he's willing to put players on the court, see what they're about, and see how best he could have a walking rotation. OG Ananobi is a baller on both ends of the court. I think he's like an unsung hero in what he does, and the Knicks wouldn't be where they are without OG Ananobi. And when he is out, you see a total difference. He is really, really good on the defensive end, and he hit crucial threes when necessary. Um, they have Mitchell Robinson on the bench, who's a big piece in terms of cleaning the board and making sure rim protected. Yeah, they had a chance. Jalen Brunson, Mikael Bridges, Carl Anthony Towns, the same code, a different coach. Yeah, they had a chance to reach to the conference finals, not really to make it out. I don't think they have enough to defeat Giannis.
And what are your thoughts on Cleveland? Because I think that they have the tools to make a deep playoff run for sure. They've been due every season for the past 3 or so seasons. They've had great regular season records and then eventually crashing out in the playoffs, whether in the first or second round. So I think with some experience under the belt, getting some playoff heartbreak, they have twin towers too in Mobley and Jarrett Allen. Um, Donovan Mitchell is a superstar. I don't see why they can't make a run with him and Garland handling the ball.
Yeah,
Say
that's
about
fair.
the Cavs.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm a big fan of Evan Mobley. Ever since he came into the league, I wanted him to win Rookie of the Year when he came in. So it's really good that he went from strength to strength. He was the defensive player of the year last season. So having that on your team shows that it's a solid team, solid defense, and defense wins championships according to the grades. So if they can, lock down teams while scoring, because I think the issue is they have struggled to score outside of Donovan Mitchell, and once you kind of lock up Donovan, then you kind of shut down the Cavs in a little way. So I feel like the other guys really need to pitch in order to take them forward, and I think that's what they've been missing over the last week.
Fair point. Fair point. And we'll move over to the final team we'll speak about here on GSCP for today before we move into our predictions. And they are my favorites to go to the finals from the Eastern Conference. That's the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis scored 37, grabbed 14 rebounds. Seems to be a regular occurrence for him at this point.
Yeah, typical.
Right? They defeated the Washington Wizards. My only gripe with the Bucks is their supporting cast because Damian Lillard left. There's no longer any Middleton.
Was the family tree, the Antetokounmpo family tree?
You're right, because there are 3 Antetokounmpos at Milwaukee right now, right? But in all seriousness, I don't see the depth that they would have to necessarily, outskill other teams. My belief in Milwaukee mainly comes from the sheer dominance and force of Giannis, right? I just feel like he would have too much for most teams in the Eastern Conference, and especially come playoff time. And as we both know, these teams won't be final. The teams that ticked off an opening, they won't be the same teams come June, July. I'm just putting my trust in the best player, the Eastern Conference, to take his team to the finals. So I think that the Bucks would do well this season, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair. They brought in Miles Turner. I'm not a big fan of Kyle Kuzma, especially him being a replacement for Chris Middleton made no sense at all. Being the kind of profile Chris Middleton was, being a shooter, mid-range 3-pointer. Kyle Kuzma gives you a bit of rim protection sometimes, and he can score at the rim, but he's not a shooter, and I don't think his IQ is as high as the players that left. So I don't think he complements Giannis well.
True.
And then
Could see him being traded mid-season.
and then there's a question mark at point guard. Lillard gone.
Lillard gone, Gary Trent Jr. and the likes of Kevin Porter Jr. and those-
Gary Trent Jr. is one of the reasons why Milwaukee Bucks didn't at least play another game in the NBA
playoffs
last season after making a really horrible turnover. So yeah, as I said, those are the questions that linger for Milwaukee. Point guard, you know what you're gonna get with Giannis, but is what you're gonna get from the rest. Is Miles Turner gonna be on every night? Is Gary Trent Jr. gonna, because he could be pretty inconsistent as well. So yeah, that's my questions with Milwaukee. You know they are gonna be at the top of the Eastern Conference, but will the supporting cast give enough to propel them further?
Okay. And I regret to mention the Philadelphia 76ers. It'd be remiss to me of us not to speak about the 76ers and the Celtics. Despite Tatum being out, Boston has championship pedigree. They have Jalen Brown, Derek White, Alfred has left, as you stated earlier. I think they will still have their coach as well, Joe Mazzulla, championship winning coach. I still think they would have, just based on their culture and their history and their experience, they would have a part to play, but I think missing Tatum is going to be too much for them.
I think so too. Missing Tatum, Porzingis leaving, Jalen Brown there with Anthony Simmons. Al Horford left. They're missing a lot of pieces who were there when they won the championship. So rightly so, it's fair for you to be questioning them whether they would be there at the end of the season.
And the team that defeated them on opening night, the 76ers, we saw Joel Embiid play limited minutes and looking very hobbled in those minutes as well.
I think he only scored 2 points.
He only scored, let me get it correctly, he scored 4 points, in 20 minutes on the court.
Okay.
That's incredible for a player of his caliber. And Tyrese Maxey ended up scoring 40 points, and the rookie number one pick, PJ Edgecombe, scoring 34 points, which I saw today on ESPN is the third or second highest.
Third after
Wilt and someone else. The third highest debut points in NBA history, which is incredible.
Crazy.
Which is incredible. So it seems as though he has great potential. But I also don't think that they'd have enough, especially without Embiid being at his best. In order for Philadelphia to contend, Embiid has to be at his highest level.
Correct.
And due to how he's playing and how he's looked over the past 2 years, it doesn't seem he'll ever get the best out of Embiid, which is sad because he's also a great talent.
Yes, he is.
Right? And also, how could we forget Paul George is also there? But Paul George has gone into such irrelevance that we've almost forgotten that
he's not the same guy anymore, right?
Right? So now that we've covered basically each big contenders opening night and their prospects for the season, what we're going to do now, as you know we like to do here on GSCP, is give some predictions, and we're going to have them booked and on camera to refer to back at the end of the season. So what I want from you, and I'll give mine as well, obviously, is I want to hear who you have in the finals. Number one, I want to hear who you have winning the finals. I want to hear who you have for MVP. And we can just leave it there as those basic predictions. So I want to hear who your two finals teams, and I want to hear who you have winning, and I want to know who you have as the MVP.
Okay, so it would be the...
Sorry to put you on the spot like that, bro.
Trying to remember what I said about the New York Knicks earlier.
Same for me, with boxing. And when you was talking, I was like, boy, do I really have boxers coming out of the East?
Yeah, crazy. I believe it could be in the East. It seems like the New York Knicks have all the boxes in terms of when you look at other teams checked. Point guard, center, supporting cast, they have that. And and the Houston Rockets.
Houston Rockets. Okay. So that's your finals matchup. Who do you have winning?
The Houston Rockets.
Houston Rockets. So Kevin Durant to get his
Third.
third ring. And who do you have for league MVP?
League MVP with Victor Wembanyama. And I'll go on further and say the rookie of the year would be VJ Edgecombe.
Okay, nice. Nice. Okay, so for my finals prediction, I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by Donovan Mitchell, to face the Denver Nuggets, led by Nikola Jokic, and I have Jokic winning his second ring. League MVP, I have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander repeating as MVP. I think he's gonna have another 30-point average scoring season, leading the Thunder to another 60-win season, going deep into the playoffs and probably losing in the Western Conference Finals to Denver or something like that. So I have SGA repeating as MVP. I have the Nuggets winning the title, Jokic winning his second ring, his second Finals MVP, and yeah, you give Rookie of the Year. I would have to agree that VJ Edgecombe looks like the best player out of the draft based on the one game sample size. But I would definitely say that Wemby will win the Defensive Player of the Year award, right? And those are our NBA season predictions. Please be advised that those predictions are subject to change based on injury, based on trades. But as of today, with one game sample size into the NBA season, those are our predictions.
There was also just a little side note here. There was also a rookie who played against us last night for New Orleans. His surname was Fairs. And his number is 0.
0.
So he has 0 fair and he fares no one, and he had 17 points off the bench.
Wow.
As a rookie. You could see that he was fearless and daring, and yeah, he just wanted it. And so it was good to see.
And there you have it. That's the kind of analysis you get here on Global Sports Caribbean Perspective. Today we spoke about cricket, and then we went over to the NBA, where we discussed each team's first game, each contender's first game, I should say, as well as give our predictions for the rest of the season. Exciting action in store for sure. So here concludes another episode of Global Sports Caribbean Perspective. This is your boy Shaba.
Daps and his
One Global.
One Global. Global!